I'm Congressman Steven Horsford, proud to represent Nevada's 4th Congressional District. I want to thank my good friend, U.S. Treasury Deputy Secretary Wally Adeyemo, for joining me for this important update, and all of you for helping to get the word out. April 15th is just around the corner. Most Americans know that means it's tax day. But today, we want to remind Nevadans to file their federal tax returns by the deadline on April 15th to avoid any penalties and to ensure a maximum refund as well as tax credits to eligible filers. Most importantly, we are talking about the new Direct File pilot program today. Nevada is one of only 12 states to participate in this new program that the IRS rolled out last month. As part of the Inflation Reduction Act that I was proud to have voted for, we wanted to provide more resources to working Nevadans and families of all incomes. As a member of the Ways and Means Committee, we worked hard to address the issues with the IRS and focused on customer service to provide taxpayers with the resources that they need. We heard time and again that it's all about helping make it easier for people to file electronically. That's what our constituents want. For decades, the only way to file electronically for most working families was by using a third-party tax preparation service. And let me be clear, many of these companies provide an important service to those who need it, like small business owners, those with investments or rental properties, or other complicated tax situations. But many families with more simple tax situations weren't able to file electronically, especially when they are eligible for the child tax credit, the earned income credit, or other tax programs based on dependents. The Direct File program fixes that. Now, most working families, single people married with 2 children, working moms who are taking care of her children or her own mother, all kinds of taxpayers will be able to use the Direct File portal on their desktop or their mobile device and file their taxes with ease, and most importantly, with no fees. And they will be able to get their returns and their refunds easily and quickly. Direct File is available in English and in Spanish. It's a platform that provides live support to its users. And did I mention it's free? This is the type of thing that constituents have been asking for, is for their government to work for them. No fees, no upgrade charges, and nothing skimmed off of the refund, so that they can use more of that money to help grow the local economy and meet their essential household needs. So we're here today to remind tax filers that they can go to directfile.irs.gov. That's directfile.irs.gov. And as a pilot state, it's important that we have as many Nevadans as possible use this platform, because it's going to help save Nevadans money. On average, a tax filer spends about $150 a year on filing and preparation fees. Nevadans could save an upwards of $77 million in filing fees this year alone. That's millions of dollars that families can turn around and spend in our local economy. Nationally, it's estimated that using the Direct File program could unlock $12 billion in unclaimed tax credits for working families, particularly the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, and credits for other dependents. So I'm really excited to be able to promote this new pilot program here in Nevada, and to be joined by the Deputy Secretary, Wally Adeyemo, for his leadership. I really want to thank you, Deputy Secretary, for your tremendous leadership, and those of your team at the IRS and Treasury. Sometimes we don't say it enough, but thank you for serving the people of this great country and breaking through on this important program. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, Congressman Horsford, thank you so much for getting us the money to put in place direct file. Frankly, we wouldn't have been able to do this but for your advocacy for the direct file program in particular, but for the Inflation Reduction Act money that was provided to the IRS that's allowed us to dramatically improve our taxpayer services, which was something that you continuously pushed me and the IRS commissioner to do as soon as we've gotten that money. And today, as we're going through filing season, we're of course talking about direct file, but for many people in Nevada, we know that you may need to call the IRS on the phone. At the beginning of this administration, before the Inflation Reduction Act and the money that was approved by Congress, the wait times to talk to them at the IRS was over 30 minutes. Today, they're just under 3 minutes because of the money that we've invested in improving our phone technology so that you can ask for a callback option. But for those of you who have simple tax returns and you're simply a working class or middle class person living in Nevada who is attempting to file your taxes by the deadline, we're asking you to go to directfile.irs.gov to use the direct file portal to file your taxes because, as the congressman said, this will save you money and it will save you time. Just yesterday, I had a chance to talk to a handful of Americans who have used direct file. And what they've told me is that they've appreciated the fact that direct file is not only free to use, but also that it took many of them less than an hour to use this product in order to file their taxes. Our goal, given the Inflation Reduction Act and the president's direction, is to do everything we can to make the filing of taxes as easy, as cheap, and as quick as possible. And we're going to use products like Direct File to help Americans. But in addition to Direct File and our phone services, if you go to irs.gov, you can find local IRS professionals who are near you who can help you with filing your taxes. And it's important to realize that Direct File is not only available in English, but it's also available in Spanish. And for those people who don't have access to a computer, but you can use your mobile phone to file your taxes at directfile.irs.gov as well. We're grateful to Congressman Horsford for his leadership in terms of helping us get the resources that were needed to put direct file in place, and for his advice as we've designed this product, and his constant admonition to us that we need to do things to help working class and middle class people around the country, especially in Nevada, to be able to save money and to save time. And we hope that people in Nevada will take advantage of direct file as they prepare to do their taxes and save both of those things and be able to invest that money and that time in their families. So thank you so much, Congressman, for your leadership. And we look forward to seeing Nevada lead the way in using direct file to file their taxes this filing season.
Thank you so much. So, Deputy Secretary, just two quick questions. Why Nevada? Why were we one of the few states selected as part of this pilot? And how are you getting the word out so that people know about this new direct file program?
So one of the reasons that we selected Nevada was because of Nevada's willingness to partner with the federal government. Part of our goal was to make sure that the people who use the direct file product both had a good filing experience at the federal level, but also at the state level. So working closely with state officials to make sure that you would be able to also fill out state taxes where they exist was a big part of our goal. And we also included states where they didn't have any state taxes in order to make sure that people had a seamless experience in terms of filing their taxes. One thing that we've realized in the federal government is that part of the challenge that many people have is that if you can't afford the more than $100 it costs to file your taxes online with a paid preparer, oftentimes what people did was they filed by paper. And when you file a paper return, that means that you are going to get your refund far slower and get information far slower. So this is also about giving access to filing online to people who don't have the money to invest in a paid provider. We're getting the word out by having conversations like this one with people like you, Congressman, but also talking to local community leaders as well, and trying to get the word out to through those community leaders about the importance of making sure that working people throughout the country, but especially in the states that we have identified for direct file, are using the tools the IRS has on offer. we know that Nevadans, like everyone else in this country, are looking for ways to save money. And we think that direct file is a way for people to save money and also to save time so they can invest those things, as you said, in the local economy, but also in their families.
Great. And one issue that comes up quite often with constituents is issues around identity theft, and many people feeling worried about their information being accessible online. Is this information with direct file a safe platform, and how can tax filers feel secure about their information?
So one of the things that we've done with the money, Congressman, that you provided us through the Inflation Reduction Act is improve the cybersecurity for the IRS. Frankly, because prior to your insistence that the IRS get money as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRS hadn't updated its digital infrastructure, its IT, since the 1960s. Before a man went to the moon, before we had an ATM, before we had a personal computer. So a number of investments have had to be made in the IRS to make our cybersecurity stronger. Those investments will mean that your personally identifiable information that goes to the IRS is even more secure now than it's ever been. In order to use direct file, we validate that you are who you say you are, using various different ways to do so. If you need to, you can call us and we can validate it based on the information you've already provided to the IRS and other means as well. We have other products that allow you to validate as well, so that when you are filing out your taxes, we know that you are filing out taxes for yourself and someone else isn't doing it for you. But ultimately, our goal here is to make sure that direct file is a secure, easy means for you to file your taxes directly with the IRS, not through a third party. And by doing that, that means that you're more likely to get your refund faster and also to have validation from the IRS that you filled out those taxes correctly. Yesterday, when I was talking to one of the people who would use direct file, they said that as they tried to log in, the IRS noticed that they put in the wrong number for what they had, what their income had been last year. And they quickly notified them that they needed to find the correct number. And because the IRS already had that data, it was easier for them to identify that mistake, but also to use that as a way to verify their identification. So we want to assure you that the data you're providing to the IRS through direct file is safe and secure. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that we continuously improve the safety and security of the information that we have. So, Congressman, can I ask you a question?
Of course, thank you.
Tell me, I'd love to hear from you why you are such a big advocate for direct file and what you think it means to Nevadans.
Well, first, I believe in making government work for the people. And this is an example of how we can create greater efficiency, streamline the process, make it open and accessible to more people to file electronically, and do it with no cost, no fees, so that people can use their refund to cover the costs that people have in their household. You know, we've got childcare cost and the food and getting kids to and from all of the activities, and people use their refunds to save for the future, to buy a new refrigerator, to help pay down some of the bills. And this is the reality that many constituents face, and this is something that many constituents have asked for. In fact, I just went to one of our local community providers that does a free tax preparation. It's actually located in the Mexican consulate's office here in Southern Nevada, and they are providing those free tax preparation services in English and in Spanish. And so having this direct file tool will help even more people be able to file their taxes on time, without cost, and get their refunds faster. And to me, that's helping to serve the constituents that I'm honored to represent. This also is personal in that the late Congressman John Lewis, this was one of his big legislative priorities And before he passed, I was honored to co-sponsor his legislation, which then ultimately made it into the Inflation Reduction Act. So we're honoring the legacy of the late Congressman John Lewis, who fought for a lot of issues. And one of the issues that he fought for was economic justice. And you can achieve economic justice through more fair and equitable tax policy. And this is one way that I believe that IRS and the Treasury are meeting its objective in being more equitable to all taxpayers in our country. So,
Well, Congressman, thank you for your leadership and for helping us be a small part of the legacy of the late Congressman. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me about this.
thank you, Deputy Secretary Wally. Adeyemo, thank you for your leadership. Please go to directfile.irs.gov. This is an important opportunity for Nevadans as part of this pilot program. Let's get out there and get our share of the tax refunds that are due to working people, and make sure you apply for that earned income tax credit and the child tax credit for those filers who are eligible. Let's not leave any money on the table for taxpayers here in Nevada. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day, and let's keep putting people over politics.